Hi, I'm Heather from Heather Handmade. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to teach you how to make heart keychain. So as you can see, you can make it out of quilting cotton with this fun plaid print. It makes it simpler, it makes the print stand out. This one is slightly easier to sew because it is quilting cotton. This one is made out of blue faux fur. It is puffy and big and fun. If you love hearts, this is a great way to show that off. These are both little clips. They're both different kinds of clips, but these clips are great for keys, obviously, because it's a keychain, but you can use it on backpacks and purses. It is a fun little project to get ready for Valentine's, and these are really quick and easy to sew. They're kind of like a scrap buster project because they use such a small amount of fabric. So why don't we get started? For this project, you can either do quilting cotton, which I'm going to do a heart with quilting cotton, and the tab, the thing that's going to go around the end of the clip, is going to be quilting cotton. I'm also going to be making another one with this blue faux fur, and the tab that will go around this is going to be out of this blue lace. You are going to need some sort of clip so that you can clip it on to, you know, a zipper or purse or whatever. So these are just two different versions. This one I think is called a lobster clip. I think this one is like a bag clip, but it doesn't really matter what you use as long as you have some sort of clip. You can also use just like a ring that has the separating part that you can slide fabric on, but I find this to be the easiest, that I can sew the tab around this and then have that sewn into the piece, and then I'm able to clip it onto anything I need to clip it onto. So when you are doing the quilting cotton, first you are to cut out the tab. You are going to cut a piece of fabric that is 4 inches wide and 2 inches tall. Then I'm going to cut out 2 hearts. Now you can print something off if you want it to be the right shape. You know, however you want your heart to be, it doesn't really matter. Remember to add seam allowance. Now to cut out the faux fur and the lace I'm doing, so I'm going to cut this. I'm actually going to do a double layer just to make it stronger. So I'm going to cut a piece that is 4 inches long. And now I'm going to cut out 2 hearts from this fabric, and I'm going to use the hearts that I already cut out as the pattern piece. And you are going to be, faux fur is really, really messy. That's the nature of faux fur, and it's going to get everywhere. Before we can move for the next step, if you are doing quilting cotton, you do need to prepare this piece. So you can iron it or you can finger press it. And what you're going to do is you're going to fold, get any fur out from the inside. You're going to fold it in half. You are folding it so that the short edges meet, and finger press that fold. Then you're taking the 2 short ends in to meet at that fold, and you're going to finger press those 2 folds. Then fold it all together so those raw edges are enclosed inside, and you have 2 long edges. The short edges are unfinished. So what you're going to do, you're going to sew down each long side of this tab with a 1/8 inch seam allowance. Once this tab is done, you are going to fold it. This is the side I want to show, and you're going to slide it over the end of your clasp like this. Once we sew this in, you won't be able to take this off without cutting. So now you get to decide if this is your heart, do you want the clip to be here or down here, however you want it to be. So I actually want my clip to be kind of like, I'm just gonna do it right here. I want it to be kind of facing up, but I don't want it to be like, I want it to be a little asymmetrical. Take some pins and you're going to pin this in place. And before we sew the hearts together, you're just going to baste this in place because you don't want this to move. So we're eventually going to be sewing the heart with a 3/8 inch seam allowance, and you will want to baste this on at 1/4 inch. So you're sewing it inside the seam allowance and it will give it extra strength to keep it right in place. We're going to do the same with one of the faux fur hearts. So this one I'm doubling because it's lace and it's not as strong. So I'm going like this and then I'm putting it in. So I have all of those layers together, and I'm going to place this one in the same place up here in this top curve on the side, and I'm going to pin this in place, and I'm also going to baste this at 1/4 inch from the edge. Now take your other heart piece, place it on top with right sides together. We're going to pin these layers together and sew around. I'm going to leave a 2-inch hole on this side opposite of my hook to turn it right side out. And when you're sewing, make sure you're going to have to kind of move the hook as you go so that it stays out. You don't want your needle to hit that metal because it will break. And then we're going to do the same with the faux fur. And this one, there's just so much fluff. It's just kind of hard to see what's going on. Once you have sewn it, you're going to take some scissors, and on the point that's pointing out, you are going to trim this off to reduce the bulk. On the point that's pointing into the heart, you're going to clip down to the thread without cutting through the thread, but getting as close as you can. And then you can use pinking shears or do some notching in the curve. I'm just going to kind of trim it so there's slightly less fabric when you turn it right side out. And the same to the fur. Now you are going to turn your hearts right side out carefully through the hole. I'm going to take a point turner and I'm going to poke out the little edges, and with the curves I'm going to I'm not pushing one part of the curve, I'm just kind of going around in the curve, because you kind of want to push that out so you can see the full curve of the fabric. Now you can add some polyfill to either of these. I'm going to add a little bit to the fur one because I think it will help give it a little shape, but this one you can already tell is a heart, and I'm not going to add any to this one. Now I'm going to pinch this hole closed on both of them. You can pin it if you would like, if you think that would help you. And you're going to sew around, completely around the edge with a 1/8 inch seam allowance, and that's going to close this hole right there along the edge. For this heart, it's going to help it give it like a nice crisp edge and keep it flat. And this one, this is still going to be puffy because of all of the fur, and I added stuff inside, but it's going to give, the shape is going to be a little more apparent because we're going to make those edges slightly nicer. Once you have that edge finished, your heart keychain is done. So this one is nice and big and puffy. You can't even really see the stitching I did around the end. You could even skip the stitching around the edge if you want and just do the stitching to close the hole. I would recommend kind of pulling the fur out of the seam allowance, and then you have a nice puffy heart. And this one is simpler, and you can use fun fabrics to, you know, just make the heart look cute and to pop. And that is how you sew a heart keychain with either quilting cotton or faux fur. I can't wait to see all of the heart keychains that you make. Please share them with me on social media. Check out these playlists with Valentine sewing projects and scrap fabric sewing projects. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you have a wonderful day.